Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Victoria 2 as Japan. And we have a slight problem. You see, I've miscalculated something. In our conquest of Brunei and Johor, down here, of course, we use the Established Protectorate war justification to take them over, which generates very little infamy. And this is something you can do with uncivilized nations, as opposed to a conquest casus belli, which costs tons and tons of infamy. Again, infamy is up here. We're currently at 8.75. If ever we go above 25, then at that point, the world will consider us a villain, and everyone gets a free casus belli against us. Anyone could declare war against us with no penalty, and you'll see some of the great powers maybe do that. The UK seems to do that quite often. And you know, but that was fine. I mean, we're only sitting at around 8.75, so that's fine. We could go and take over some more uncivilized nations, for example, Korea. The problem is, I had forgotten that in one of the patches, they changed this because it's kind of OP, that Established Protectorate only works on uncivilized nations with 5 provinces or less. Against Korea, it's not going to be an option. We have to use the Conquest Casus Belli. And that brings potentially up to 22 infamy points. So obviously if we did it now, not that we can because we still have a peace treaty, but if we did it now, it would rock us all the way up to 30 infamy, which is very bad. So to be safe, we'd want to be at an infamy of 3 or lower before we declare war. Now you do burn off infamy fairly regularly. Come on, mouse over the infamy. There it is. Right now we're losing 0.1 infamy per month, so that's 1.2 per year. So really we need, I guess around 5 years, just under 5 years from now, we'll hit the 3 infamy points, at which point we could safely declare war. Now, it's rare that you get the full infamy hit from a war justification, but how much do we want to risk it? I don't know. And also, if you go above the 25, they don't declare war on you immediately, so we may be able to afford going just over the notch, but not too far, because I really want Korea. Having Korea is incredibly important. And at the same time, I'm pretty happy that I've picked up these. Brunei, maybe I didn't need to make it as much of a priority. They don't have a ton of resources, although lumber early on is actually fairly valuable. And in Johor, we've got the double gold, or triple gold. Really, triple gold. And some tropical wood, which sounds kind of interesting. So there's a lot of value in having grabbed Johor at least, and if anything else, Brunei was at least a skipping stone over here. We are going to want to build some naval bases out here pretty soon. Oh, I forgot to double check exactly what benefits naval bases give us. I believe the attrition range on ships is affected based on the distance from the closest naval base, colonization range and stuff like that affects too. So it's going to be important for that. Now, I don't remember where I left things off exactly. Oh yeah, move some troops over here, and I don't want to leave them here. I'm going to be defending these islands entirely through Navy. So actually, let me start with that right away. You guys jump on board the ship. The ships, you guys are going to drop off all your passengers over in Nagasaki. And we are going to be, since we can't really afford to go to war short term, at the very least we need 2 to 3 years before our peace treaty expires, but we're going to probably delay it a little bit more than that. It's going to be risky because a lot of things could happen in the world in that time. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on our industry. So speaking of which, we have our cement factory is done. We have our craftsmen. We have 9,300 craftsmen employed here, which is good. I don't know, would it tell us here if it had clerks employed? It might not have any, and we don't have any in the region. So we're going to start playing around with some of our national foci. We are also going to build up some more factories. Now, in Osaka, we don't have any infrastructure there. Oh, the rail projects are still being done. There we are. But yeah, we have railroads being worked on. So the factories won't be running at full efficiency until the railroads are done. Railroads are really good. They give a 20% boost per level to all your factories and NGOs. I don't know if it affects artisans. Actually, I don't think it does, which is part of the reason artisans eventually start to fall off. They're still not bad now, and we're researching inorganic chemistry. Yeah, that's really good. We're going to have to decide what we want to go to next. Because there's a lot of different ways. Cheap iron wouldn't hurt either. I mean, we have iron mines and everything. Start making steel. Although, I think Navy techs would be good. You know what would be good? More. Well, we have base steamers, which is good. We could keep going down this route. And actually, one of the industries we may want to look at doing, and let's do that right now, just pick a random region here, is steamer shipyards. Oh, they're so expensive to build. And we'd be operating at a loss right now, just barely. Yeah, we can't afford to build these yet. But this is the sort of industry I would like to do. A, I think they can be profitable later on, and B, we are going to want to build a lot of steamer ships, so there'll be a good reason for us to do that. I guess short term, we're going to look at the cheaper things, because we're still working to really establish our industry. We don't have many craftsmen and clerks and stuff yet, so the cement factory is working out for us. A lumber mill might work. It operates at a loss, but we could flip this around and produce furniture. Oh, we haven't unlocked the furniture tech yet. Should happen soon, I think. We can probably make money with liquor, because liquor needs grain and glass, and we already have a decent amount of glass. Actually, should we do a glass factory? Ooh, again, this is going to hit coal. I'm not sure if we're going to be producing enough of it. Let's see, we've got... How many coal mines we have? We've got 2 coal mines down below here. And why are they... These are red. Green. Oh, does it have to do with the amount of places that produce that? So we don't actually produce a lot of coal ourselves? Nah, we got one more over here. What does the color coding mean? So how much does this produce? 34, 45, 11. Oh, alright, so 11 is just bad, very low production. Why so low? Well, you don't have a railroad yet, but neither do we down here. You have 60k workers in your RGO as opposed to... Ah, that may be it. What is their overall total population here? 207k, 273k. Ah, come on. Okay, so we just don't have the populace to support it. So we have 3 coal NGOs. We could potentially buy more on the international market, but that's kind of risky. And then there's 4 more in Korea. See, this is why I want Korea. It's going to be super good. All right, enough of that. We are definitely going to queue up some more production. Now, other states that are about to get some railroad, the Edo region are going to get some. So this is probably a good place to drop something. Edo. And I think I'm going to go with... See, wineries are kind of cool too, but we don't really produce fruit natively. I think a liquor distillery will work out. It's currently profitable. I think we're also going to want to build the glass. It's quite the investment at this point, but I think it's worth doing. Also, things like the canned goods and small arms. Okay, small arms isn't profitable, but when we start to build up our military, it would actually help a lot. All right, let's go and put down liquor. We're going to start making I can't remember what the Japanese rice wine is. You serve it warm, you get in those little bottles. Ah, brain fail. But yeah, we're gonna start making some rice wine, as opposed to a fruitier wine. That's what I'm calling our liquor. So yeah, start doing that. And then we're gonna start to look at craftsmen and whatnot. We actually got a shortage in Osaka still. We don't have a full set of craftsmen. We don't have anyone unemployed. So, alright. That is one. The other thing... I think I'm going to go ahead and build a glass factory as well. I think it's probably a good basic production, and we'll set things up nicely. Nagoya's already got some craftsmen kicking around, so I'm going to go ahead and build it there. Do I not have enough money? I don't have enough money. Okay, so I guess we're not going to do that yet. We are going to play with our focuses, our national foci. Yeah, see, we've been encouraging clergymen. We're actually over 2% everywhere, which is not good. Not what I meant to do. What I want to take a look at is, so we're at 2.7, 2.6, 3.0, 2.9, 1.9 is close to 2%. 2% is the sweet spot. We could encourage, this is in Shumshu, we could encourage some clergymen here, but Shumshu is like down here, isn't it? Where's my find tool? Shumshu. Oh! Eh? Well, we don't own that. Oh, this is part of it too. Okay. It might not be bad. I don't know if we've got to highly prioritize it. And again, the population just keeps dropping, and these are my, more conquered areas. So I'm not going to freak out too much about those. They actually have a lot of clergymen here in Brunei. So I'm going to shift my focus away from that into making sure we've got enough clerks for where we're actually producing things. Now, I don't have to worry about it yet where I'm just building, but Osaka could use some more craftsmen, which is probably coming up on its own, but it could also use some clerks, which improves the factory efficiency. I don't think they've got any working there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Clerks it is. I'm going to drop it out of there. I don't know about any other foci we need to put in right now, because like we don't actually have the craftsmen right now. We don't really need... Maybe I'll just cancel the other ones, because we don't need more clergymen. So just I could move people towards certain parties. I actually wouldn't mind moving towards liberal in general, because eventually we're going to go towards that sort of free market kind of economy. And I know if you're, say, like, if you're an American, you're used to thinking of liberal politics as being the sort of like, oh, people mean liberal equals socialist, which doesn't make any sense at all. But no, in this game, liberal is that sort of like freedom, less government control type of thing. The sort of thing that like the Conservative Party tend to use, or the Republican Party kind of advocate as their platform. Whereas the Conservative Party is like strict definition conservative in that they just don't want change. So liberals are okay with reform, and specifically will probably push the more sort of laissez-faire economy that we're going to want at some point. The production foci won't really matter right now because we don't have a lot of capitalists. We might want to start to encourage capitalists. Actually, Edo, let's go and start to put a few capitalists. Right now, the capitalists are allowed to, are allowed to build goods or build factories. They just haven't been doing it. We're going to use our most populated, sorry, top hat guy, populated nations to do that. Let me double check. It's planned economy. Yeah, I guess planned. Investors can build foreign railroads. No, that's not what I'm looking for. So we should move to the court faction, to state capitalism. So planned economy is the hardcore one, where the state controls everything. State capitalism. Okay, we'll wait. We're gonna keep going with the shogunate for now, but we'll move to the court faction soon enough to state capitalism so that the capitalists can start doing things. We don't have any capitalists right now, and right now we want the kind of benefits of planned economy, but we're gonna make that move. For now, we got to keep making money. I think I'm gonna unpause things finally. So I'm gonna move these troops here. We are going to build a much bigger navy. It's gonna be part of our military plan, definitely. But other than that, we are mostly. Wow, that is a big drop in money. We are mostly going to be building up our infrastructure while we wait for everything else to kick in. Yeah, wait for this stuff to finish. Rally points. We could probably... I'm going to clear these rally points for now. We're going to figure out what we want to do with that later. Part of me is wondering if we should get rid of our old clipper transports. I don't think I'm going to do that because they still have use. Especially for our Korean invasion. They're not going to need a lot of... They're not going to need a whole lot of sort of sturdiness to be able to make that trip. I'm going to rename the first fleet here. This is going to be the... fish production. I don't know how much fish we actually produce. Alright, first fleet, you are... what are we going to call our transport fleet? I guess we could just call it that. Like, this is the first transport fleet. It doesn't feel right, but it's something. Japanese fleet. I'm going to be. This is going to be the first navy. An AC. There we go. And I'm going to expand the size of that for sure. So, we need to do anything diplomatically? We could keep buttering up some of our neighbors, like the UK, to keep our relations high, because I'm going to try to get them to not deal with us much. The United States might not hurt either. Other than that, I do want to start producing ships, but I don't think it's going to happen quite yet. We need to build factories and such first. Speaking of which, so what are my three biggest? Osaka, Nagoya, Edo. Osaka, Nagoya, Edo. So Nagoya is the next place where I want to build a factory, and I think I have enough now for that glass factory. Ah, see, it's gotten cheaper. Maybe we have some of the goods kicking around. We don't have to buy as much of them. I don't know. There we have it. And next would be the FU province, or state, rather. We're building things on a state-by-state basis. Let's go ahead and do that as well. We're going to build... Can good. See, you can turn a profit with this. Wow, quite a bit, possibly. And again, this is a strategic good in that we use this to feed our military. I'm going to go ahead and get that started as well. So that's a lot of expense. But there we are. Now we've got our 3 states going on. And we're just going to have to make sure... Let's see, some craftsmen are converting automatically. We may have to encourage it at some point, but maybe we don't. In fact, in Osaka... Alright, we're doing clerks there. That's fine. Capitalist, that's perfectly fine. And we finally have a few clerks here. Now, apparently the ratio, the golden ratio, is about 1 clerk for every 4 craftsmen. So theoretically, if this was employing 8,000 craftsmen and 2,000 clerks, that would be the maximum efficiency. So it's been encouraged pretty good here. I may slow things down and go over to capitalist at some point. Okay, money's still coming in. Great. Ah, Edo finished some railroads. Wonderful. Edo is over here, isn't it? Yeah. So it's got its level 1 railroad. I would like to get to level 2 railroads. It's very, very valuable, but I'm not sure if we're going to be teching down that route quite yet. 3% more tax efficiency? Well, that doesn't hurt. Making lots of money. We can probably... I'm going to bring down the tax rate on the middle class at least. Might keep taxing the poor. I'm also going to bring down the tariffs. It doesn't make us much money, and it actually hurts our artisans and things to a certain extent. Should... even more tax efficiency. Love it. There we are. It might help. And I'll leave everything else pretty much as is. And you know what? I'm going to bring these up to 90%. Keep kicking up our literacy rate. Ah, there we go. Furniture factories are now allowed. So we're going to... Let me pause again. We're going to investigate building a furniture factory, possibly where we already have